Welcome to the Sports Scouting Report podcast with Lee Brecheen.
Hi, everyone. You're listening to the Sports Scouting Report. I'm your host, Lee Brecheen. Hope everybody's having a great Monday. We've got a great show today. It's an interview with Slidell High School. I was very happy to be in Slidell, and I interviewed their players and also their head football coach, Malter Scobel, who coached many years at Archbishop Shaw and Destrehan and has been the defensive coordinator at Slidell for a few years, and he's now the interim coach for the 2021 season. And I think you're really going to enjoy this. They've got some really good football players at Slidell. You know, and I always think about Mike Sutton at Salmon High School, and you look at Slidell High School, you look at, Reggie Cooper that I played against who went to Nebraska, was a phenomenal DB. You look at all the great players that came out of Slidell over the years. There was a ton of great players. You know, Britt and Blaine Besh, Jack Besh's uncles that played at LSU. Britt Besh played for the Saints. But we could go on and on and on about all the great players. Slidell's had a ton of them in football and baseball. We're going to go ahead and when we come back, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to go ahead and start our interview with Slidell High School. We'll be right back. Listen, whatever you're driving right now, Tommy Harvey wants it. Bring it in to Harvey Subaru, Lexus of Shreveport, Bossier City, or John Harvey Toyota. They're paying big bucks for all trades right now. They'll cut you a check right there. Tell them Lee sent you. Welcome back. You listen to the Sports Scouting Report. We're going to go ahead and go to our interview with Slidell's football coach, Malter Scobel, and also three great football players, all class of 222 kids. Tamaj Hoffman, who's a big-time running back, Fernando Torres, who's a big-time leader on the OD line, and also Stacy Jarvis, who's a really good offensive lineman, defensive lineman. They're all seniors. Hope you enjoy this.
I'm at Slidell High School today. I'm really happy Coach Scobel let me come by. 7:45 in the morning. And
Yep.
Coming from Baton Rouge, love being in Slidell. When I come out to Slidell High School, I think of Britt Blaine Besh, Troy Twilley, Reggie Cooper, all the guys. Any guys, and I got the current guys that are going to be seniors here with Coach. Stacy Jarvis, a 3-year starter, big guy. Fernando Torres, another big lineman, number 94. And Tamaj Hoffman, running back. Tamaj, I want to start with you, man. You look like a running back. And Coach told me, he said, look out for this guy. Now, a lot of people are talking about it. And I watched you play. You showed a little bit last year, but this is your year to really show everybody what you can do, right?
Yes, sir.
Being a senior, you might stay here. But what do you think of this coming year being a senior? I mean, what do you think?
But to be honest, I'm thinking like this is last year. I gotta show everything I got. So like I gotta focus on that. I gotta focus on playing my best game. But at the same time, I gotta focus on being a leader for the rest of my team because that's the most important. Team before me, though.
So y'all playing a brutal schedule, Tamaj, and we're gonna talk to Coach and talk to Fernando and talk to Stacy. But I mean, y'all don't play anybody that's slouchy. I mean, y'all play the best of the best. You have crossover with New Orleans teams, St. Tammany teams, Tangipahoa teams, and it's the who's who when y'all play non-district. But tell everybody your height and weight and what you want to work on this coming year.
I'm 5'8", 185 pounds, and I want to work on. I guess one thing I got to work on is my speed and my physicality. I guess there's always something like I feel like I'm decent, but there's always something you can get better at. Like you can never be at your best, so there's always room for improvement.
And I think you can be a D1 player. I'm gonna talk to Coach. I know he's high on you, but he's counting on you to get some yards this year. And you're gonna be the bell cow, man. You're gonna be the guy. So I mean, you look 200. You're put together. I mean, I'm complimenting you because I see kids all the time playing ball. But I mean, you look like a Kevin Falk I remember seeing. That was all built the way you're supposed to look. 40 times overrated. I don't even know what your 40 is, but you look at least 4.55 to me on the field, or maybe faster than that.
Yeah, 4.58.
That's pretty good speed for a guy almost 190.
Yeah.
Put together. Coach, what do you think of Tamaj going in this season? I know you've already told me, but you're pretty
Yeah,
high.
he played a little defense last year, started defense, played a little running back later in the year, and he is naturally a running back. And that's hard for me to say being a defensive coach, but it's evident. And works hard, great leader, always trying to get better. And I do think he's going to have a breakout year.
You mentioned Arizona State, LSU, Louisiana Tech, Tamaj. You like the Tigers in state, obviously? I mean, grew up liking them?
Yes, sir. That's all the football I watch is from LSU, from Patrick Pierce and Tyrann Mathieu, all of them. That's all I watch. And then I was recently up there a week ago just to visit the school and learn about the majors and stuff, just to see, just in case I was going there.
Man, you got to put your Davis White in there too.
Oh, Davis White, yeah.
Do you think it's DBU? I really do think it.
Yeah, I think it's DBU for sure.
Now it's running back you. Rondell Mealy, Kevin Falk, Billy Cannon. I mean, names you don't remember, but Jerry Stovall, Coach does.
Fournette.
I mean, Clyde Edwards, hell yeah. I mean, Darrell Williams from John Aaron. I mean, it's kind of running back you, and you're running back. So, Fernando Torres, appreciate you joining us, man. You're a lineman, D lineman, senior coming up. Tamaj is going to be a senior coming up. You're all 222 guys. Got Stacy Jarvis over here. But Fernando, what do you think about this coming year? You have LSU in the front as well. I mean, childhood probably.
Yeah.
Alabama, not a good word in Louisiana, but you have them. The Ohio State U, as they call them. Why these three schools? Just
Those
people
are
you follow?
the colleges I watched when I watched college football. So that's what I chose. And LSU, I plan on going there for construction management.
So if you don't sign a scholarship somewhere else, would you walk on if they gave you a shot?
Yeah, if they give me a shot.
You become a coach?
Absolutely. He's going to play both ways. He'll play some O-line, and he's going to start at D-line, and he's involved in the offensive line as well.
I always tell kids, if you can walk on, and Coach knows this, you walk on at the highest level, you get those rings, man, and now walk-ons actually get scholarships today. It's a little different than the old days, you know. And then Stacy Jarvis over here, man, 5'10 and a half, 5'11", 260-ish. Work at Taco Bell, man. Hey, I got to mention that because that's my favorite place. I'll tell you that. And it's a bad favorite place. Meaning I don't eat too much of it. But you're going to be a senior. You got 3.0 GPA. You actually came and got me out of the office. Appreciate that.
No problem.
USM, Southern Miss in Hattiesburg.
Yes, sir.
ULL, Oregon. The Ducks, man. Wherever I go, kids with the Ducks. Why the Ducks?
And it was just, I ain't gonna lie. When I grew up, everybody was like they watch LSU. I used to watch the Ducks because when my first interaction with college football, I don't know. I just like their jerseys. They caught me on fast, and then I just continued watching the football, and that's just one of my top schools.
Wherever I go, they mention them. Your hobbies, you relax. You like to sleep. I wish I could sleep. Coach, probably the same thing. Football, that's a hobby too. You love it, huh?
Isn't everything I do?
What do you need to work on? You're a senior. You and Fernando are senior linemen. Y'all the older guys.
Yes, sir.
Y'all got a lot of young guys that need to learn some things still. What's the best advice to your teammates?
My best advice to the teammates. Every day we go out to practice, we just got to keep working, always getting better. Because if we're not getting better, that means somebody getting better than us. And you ain't winning games if somebody better than you. So that's why we preach to be the hardest worker. And that's why we pretty sure we're going to do some great things this year.
And all three kids have over 3.0 GPAs. Tamaj has a 3.4. Stacy, you have a 3.0. And Fernando, you're a 4.1, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you going for 4.2? I mean, what? You going to stop at 4.1?
I try to get straight A's, but, I mean, sometimes it don't work out.
I got to ask you this because there aren't a lot of 4.0 students playing football. What is your favorite class?
Math is my easiest subject.
That was the hardest for me.
Yes.
I think geometry, coach, and algebra. They wanted to kick me out. I couldn't finish the first week.
Geometry was not easy.
I still don't know algebra and geometry, but for you to know math like that, God bless you, man. I mean, so you good with all that stuff?
Yeah.
Calculus?
Yeah, I'm taking calculus right now.
Do you study for it, or you just you ace it easily?
Sometimes I study for it.
Can you good enough to tutor it?
Maybe.
Man, that'd be a good little job for you in college. Tamaj, you were like shaking your head like, yeah. You're a math guy too?
Yes, I love math. I love math so much. Like,
Man, this is rare, Coach.
it just like once they teach it just comes and it just comes so easily. Like, I love math so much.
If you need a paint job or repairs to your vehicle, go see Madine's Collision Center located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana on Kincaid Avenue. The number to call is 357-7983. That's 357-7983. Your Baton Rouge Accident Advisors. Welcome back. We're going to go back to our interview with our Slidell players and Coach Scobel. We'll continue on with our interview right now.
All right, as a group, give me your favorite opponent in the district. You don't even have to say why, but start with Stacy. What school?
North Shore.
Fernando.
North Shore.
North Shore.
Same school. Okay, give me another one.
Mandeville.
St. Paul's.
I'm gonna go Covington.
Okay, I mean it's thick, man. Y'all know all these kids too, huh?
Another one?
Y'all probably know a lot of the kids at the school.
Oh yeah, I know some kids personally. Yeah.
And you got Pope John Paul over here, and you got Salmon and all these other schools.
We tried to schedule Salmon for the future, but they said no so far.
Oh man, that's kind of like Louisiana Tech and ULL not playing, right, Coach?
Right. It's we tried. I know they had some issues in the past, but as long as I'm here, we'll always reach out and try to make it happen.
I got to ask Coach this. Coach goes back to old school Archbishop Shaw.
Yes.
My buddy Joe Abergamo played there. Nacho, Mickey Guidry, Ron Sancho, Pat Riley, Brian Clark. On and on, but you were there when Hank Turney and all those guys, Lou Valden, and
yes.
I go on, but was there ever a team that didn't want to play Shaw, if you can think of it, back in the day? Like, did you ever have that?
No, obviously you had the Curtises, that were always willing to play anybody, but
yeah.
I mean, we were one of the best teams around in the state back in the 80s when we were there.
These guys don't realize that. Y'all were nationally ranked. Back then.
Yes. Played with Mickey Joseph, Vance Joseph, all those guys.
Kendall Bussey.
Kendall Bussey was a freshman when I was there. We had a lot of talent.
Enroll Chester.
Yes. So playing for a state championship was the norm. It was expected. And, when we got off the bus, there was an aura about us, and a lot of teams weren't ready for that. And that's just
right.
The way it is.
And back then, I remember Shaw didn't even play freshmen usually.
No.
I don't even care if you were 6'6". I remember Pat Riley.
But he didn't even play as a freshman.
He didn't play as a freshman.
No.
When he was 6'6", 260, he could run a 4.7.
So, Ryan Clark played in the NFL. He didn't play as a freshman. I mean, now all those guys played as sophomores, and they established their name big time as sophomores.
Did Coach ever tell you about those Shaw days?
I knew you went to Shaw, but
I'm going to tell you what. I'll remember those days. I went to some of those games, and it was like an army of talent. I mean, and it was the next man up. Like, they'd lose 30 guys, they'd have another 30 coming up, senior group. And
Coach Tierney built a program dynasty.
Who's some other assistants, Coach? I know there was tons of them coming from Shaw.
Richard Walker, Derek Barbier, all those guys coached me. Mike Silva, Billy North. They were coaches when I was there. And then as time went on, you had Jay Roth, Scott Bain's father. Phil Banco was there.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of guys that have gone through there as coaches that have been head coaches and been very successful head coaches.
And Tommy's now the coach.
Tommy's there. Tommy was a ninth grader when we were there. The last year we were there to coach.
It's good to see them coming back, Coach.
Yeah, it is. It is. I went on campus for the first time in a long time when he got the job, and it's my alma mater. I hope they do well.
You've been on the North Shore a few years now.
Yes.
Been at Covington. You've been all over been in coaching a long time. What's your thoughts of high school football going into 221? It's changed a little bit.
It has. I try to approach it the same. I think you got to be tough mentally and physically, and you got to work hard, and there's no way around it. And if you don't do it, you get exposed on Friday nights by those who do. So, That's been our mindset, and that's how I've coached since I've been involved in it.
I always tell kids, and I admire everybody today that's on the team because that means y'all are tough mentally and physically. Football's never going to be easy, but it teaches you to become a man. I played. My dad was a coach. You're going to sweat. You're gonna hurt. You're going to go through some times where you're going to think, hey, man, I don't know. But when it's over, the camaraderie, the friendships you meet for life, your brothers, man, I always tell, kids today, a lot of kids don't want to do it. And I have a message for those kids, man. Go out. Be a part of something. Be a part of a team. And a lot of respect for you guys because y'all are not only, classroom's not easy. And then you got to go out, so when the bell rings and 2:30 or whatever it is, and then get home at 7 at night during the season. Yep. Coach might get home at 10, maybe 11 or 12. Maybe Sunday gets home at 5 watching film. It's his whole life, But I really, really appreciate y'all letting me come by. And Tamaj, any final thoughts, man? College coaches are here, statewide.
I just know to look out for me this season for sure, and this team. I feel like we can do something big this year, for sure.
Mr. Math, Fernando?
And I'm just ready for football and ready for this team to go out and show what they can do.
You gonna get some sacks?
That's the plan. Well,
Coach, get some up. And Stacy,
we're gonna shock the season this year. We're gonna see something different from Slidell this year.
Yeah, a lot of history at this school. A lot of history. I played against Reggie Cooper, Coach.
He was my age, yeah.
He was the baddest dude I ever went against. 6'3", 220 safety when he was here.
Him and Mickey signed at Nebraska together.
Same year, yeah.
We were all the same age.
Reggie, when he'd come after you, I wasn't scared, but I was definitely in fear of Reggie Cooper. Reggie was like Devin White. But 6'3", 220.
30 years ago.
Reggie knocked me out of a game on special teams. I was like a sophomore, and this is the playoffs. We're playing Slidell. I went to Central. And I'm like, this guy's a grown man. And he brought it like he wanted to get you out the game. And I'm like, that guy can play. And I was in the recruit. My dad was a coach. I'm like, that guy. And I was following him. And I forgot him and Mickey went the same.
Yeah. Yep.
Phenomenal player. Coach, any final thoughts about this year?
I agree with the kids. I think it could be a special season. They've worked hard. It's a tight-knit group of seniors, and their leadership is going to be the deciding factor on how far we go.
And I know y'all got a long day today. You got practice this afternoon. Got school. Got class. How many classes are in a day here? 7. You teach too, Coach.
Yeah, I'm in the gym. I'm lucky I got to eat. So.
You've earned it, though. You've been in it for 30 years.
Yes.
Guys, good luck to you this year.
Thank you.
All right.
We're going to go take a break, and we'll be back. And when we come back, the rest of the show, I'm going to talk about the NFL, some LSU football players, how they're doing, and also one kid from ULL who went to Cecilia High School. We're going to talk about a very great player from Cecilia High School that's doing good in the NFL right now with the Los Angeles Rams. We'll be back in just a moment. Be sure to take your car and truck for all your tire needs to Treads and Care Tire Company located in Central. The number to call is 331-8144. Family owned and operated since 1971. That's Treads and Care Tire Company. Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Scouting Report. I'm Lee Brecheen. I hope you enjoyed the show so far with our Slidell coach, Coach Scobel, and all the players, Tamaj Hoffman, Fernando Torres, Stacy Jarvis. I really had a good time at Slidell High School. These are some good kids. I've always been a big fan of Slidell High School, the history of the school. I played against Slidell High School when I was in high school back in 1988. They were very good then. They've been good every year. Matt Forte went to Slidell High School. Matt Forte was a pretty good running back at Tulane from Slidell High School. Look, in this segment, we're going to talk about the NFL, and we're not going to talk about teams or stuff like that. But I'm going to talk about Louisiana natives or people that played at LSU or different schools in Louisiana. And I had a chance to watch some of the NFL preseason games this past week. And it was really good to see some guys that look better with new teams. I thought Arden Key, the former LSU defensive end, looked the best I've seen him look since really LSU. Really didn't have a great career in Oakland. But Arden Key, he looked very, very good with the 49ers. Looks like he's going to maybe jumpstart his career with the 49ers. They've got a good team. Frank Herron, I noticed from LSU. He's been around a little bit. He's been in Detroit. He's been in New England as a free agent. He's now with Carolina Panthers, the defensive tackle from LSU. From Memphis, Tennessee, Frank Herron. Frank looked pretty good. He got some reps in the game, and I hope he makes the team. He's a free agent. Raymond Calais, who was a former running back at Cecilia High School, and he's currently playing for the Los Angeles Rams. I'm going to tell you, he's one of the best kickoff returners in the NFL. He had a kickoff return this past weekend that was phenomenal. He almost scored. Kickoff return was about 60-something yards. Man, this guy runs a 4.40, played at Cecilia, played at ULL in Lafayette, the Raging Cajuns. I think he's going to be phenomenal this year. He looked really good in the preseason game this past weekend. Carrie Vincent, a rookie from LSU who sat out this past year at LSU from Port Arthur, Texas. Carrie had a really good game with the Denver Broncos. I thought Carrie was very good. He had 3 tackles. Looks like he's probably going to make the team and do really well in Denver for the Broncos. I had a chance to see, like everybody else, Terrace Marshall. His first catch went for 60 yards for the Carolina Panthers. The former Parkway High School Panther really did good. He had a great game. I think he's going to do well in Carolina. And then Tyler Shelvin quietly had a really good preseason game with the Bengals. Tyler had 3 tackles, which that's a lot of tackles for a nose guard. But most of those were just playing in maybe a quarter and a half. But I thought Tyler Shelvin, the former Northside High School and Notre Dame High School grad and LSU superstar, had a really good game. And then Patrick Queen with the Baltimore Ravens, everybody saw that against the New Orleans Saints. The former Livonia High School star who was a running back in high school became a linebacker for Dave Aranda and LSU. Patrick Queen looks like he's going to be a Pro Bowler for many, many seasons at linebacker for the Baltimore Ravens. And in general, let's end with the Saints. I don't put a lot of stock in preseason games. I never did. I do like to watch the rookies like we're talking about today, young guys that are playing, and that's really what it's about. I wouldn't get too caught up in wins and losses. I still don't think the Saints are going to be great this year. I think I've got them going basically 9 wins this year. And that might not be enough to finish second in their conference. I know the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are probably going to be the favorites. Carolina's improved, and Atlanta's always going to be tough. So it's going to be tough for this year for the Saints, just in their own conference. The quarterback position, again, I don't put a lot of stock in preseason games, but it's going to be interesting to see how that unfolds over a long season in the NFL for the Saints. They have a good defense. The Saints have Alvin Kamara. They have Michael Thomas if they can get that straight, get him back on the field. But, it's just might be one of those seasons to transition for Coach Payton. And if they do better than 9 wins, he should be Coach of the Year, post Drew Brees. So I really think the Saints might have an off season this year, but I don't think they're going to rebuild for many years. I just think it might be one year they might have to go through a tough year. If they can make the playoffs, that would be a great accomplishment for the Saints this coming season. I hope everybody enjoyed the show. We're going to go ahead and our preseason magazine is going to be coming in next week. And so we're going to be able to get the magazine in late this week, and then we'll be able to get it out next week. But anybody that wants to pre-order a North magazine, a South magazine, go to lafootballmagazine.com and be sure to order a magazine. All the Slidell kids that we talked about today will be in the magazine. So be sure to support the high school, support what we're doing, and pick up a copy as a gift for a family member or one of your kids or a relative if you're listening. Be sure to get a copy. lafootballmagazine.com is the website to go to pre-order your magazines. And we'll get those out next week. And I hope, again, everybody has a great Monday. We'll see you on Wednesday.
Thanks for listening to the Sports Scouting Report podcast with Lee Brecheen.